The US-China tariff war didn't just change prices, it changed the shape of everyday products. When the world's two biggest economies started slapping tariffs on each other's goods, most people expected price hikes, but behind the scenes, something far more subtle and genius was happening. Companies began quietly tweaking their products, not to improve them, but to legally bypass new import taxes. A slight curve added here, a material swap there, or even a new label was enough to dodge millions in duties. From electronics to furniture, toys to clothes, products were being re-engineered purely for survival. You didn't stop buying them, but what you got in your hands was never quite the same again. This is the secret design war you never heard about. Tech companies turned into sneaky magicians. USB chargers got detachable heads not for convenience, but to claim they were modular computer accessories. LED lights, not for style, just a trick to move them into a different tax bracket. Some brands even added an extra port nobody asked for just to say this is a multifunctional device. One company rerouted a cable's internal wiring so it technically became part of a computer system, avoiding a 25% tariff. Another swapped outer material from PVC to TPE to qualify under a cheaper import category. It was like watching a loophole Olympics, where every screw, wire, and port became a legal chess move to save money and outsmart customs. Toy companies got crafty fast. They started slapping alphabet stickers and number shapes onto plastic dinosaurs. Boom, now it's an educational tool, not a toy. That meant lower tariffs. Some dolls came with fake learning cards or cardboard books just to sneak into the learning materials category. Furniture brands joined the game too. Beds and tables were broken into more pieces than a Lego set so they could be imported as incomplete parts. In fashion, it got even weirder. Brands started mixing tiny amounts of synthetic fibers, like 5% nylon, into clothes just to shift into a cheaper customs code. And the classic move? Adding a designed in USA tag to shirts fully made in Asia, because nothing dodges tariffs like a little patriotic label. Behind these clever changes were teams of experts, not designers but lawyers, tariff analysts, and supply chain managers. Their job? Find every possible loophole in the system. If a zipper could be moved an inch to lower taxes, it was done. If a toy shape could be stretched slightly to count as sports equipment, it was redesigned. Some companies even moved entire factories to countries like Vietnam or Indonesia just to print a different made-in label. And while all this was happening, quality sometimes took a back seat. Clothes felt cheaper. Furniture became harder to assemble. But for companies, it was a small price to pay compared to losing millions in extra tariffs. Even packaging got a makeover. Some products were put in oddly large boxes just to meet a specific weight-to-size ratio that reduced customs duties. Others had QR codes printed on them claiming smart functionality, even if they didn't do anything special, just to be labeled as tech gear instead of regular goods. One clothing brand added tiny Bluetooth chips in tags, not to track items, but to argue they were wearable tech. And don't even get started on shoes. Some had fake arch support or strange stitching patterns, purely to fit into a different tariff category. It wasn't innovation, it was tariff theater, and companies were performing like pros. So next time your table takes an hour to build, or your shirt feels weirdly synthetic, remember, it might not be bad design, just smart survival. The US-China tariff war didn't just hit ports and politics, it reshaped the things you touch every day, all without saying a word. It was a silent redesign of your world, hidden in cables, fabrics, and toy boxes. If you found this eye-opening, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still thinks tariffs only affect Wall Street. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.